Good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're well. It is Monday morning. It is the 29th of April 2024 and you are watching Totally Beads. Today I'm going to be doing some lovely little kind of sparkle diamond tube bracelets. Now we've used the sparkle kind of diamond tube a few times actually now. I think the last make I did, we were using them as little connectors in a necklace. And we've also used the memory wire. The last time I made the memory wire bangles with you, I think it was called Zivia? We were using the marble agate, and we were using them as traditionally worn in terms of like wrapping up your arm. Today I'm going to make a multi-layered effect, but we're going to be using a little magnetic clasp. So we're going to create a lovely little bangle. They're really easy to create. You don't need much at all in terms of your materials or your tools, and I think we've got a 15% discount today on the website, so lots of lovely colours for you to choose as well. I think there's 6 in total. I'm going to say good morning to you all, and then I'm going to take you over to the website, and then we're going to start making. So good morning to Linda. She says good morning from a bright Watford. The sun is breaking through the clouds. It started off quite bright this morning, but it is still cold here. The wind is still a little bit chilly, and now it's gone quite overcast, so chance of rain again. Good morning to Jan. She says good morning to myself and to everyone from a sunny Sudbury. Who else have we got in? We've got Rachel in. She's in a bright and breezy Barrow. Lovely alliteration there, Rachel. Thanks for that. She's put me to the test, checking that I'm illiterate and articulate and all the rest of it this morning. Catherine says good morning from a dull and grey Glen Roths. Good morning to Elaine. Good morning to Jan. She says she got her kits for these on Saturday and she's looking forward to them. They're very sparkly. See, I didn't even think they went live on the website until today, so I'm glad that you've got them and you're ready to play along with me. Good morning to Camille. She says good morning. It's a bit dull and cold here. I hope she hopes we are well, and she's giving us a wave. Good morning to Judith. Good morning to Helen. Hello to Tina. Good morning to Anna, who's in Perth. She says it's now dull and waiting for rain. And good morning to Kath. So I'm going to take you over to the website now. You can have a little look at the kits. Hopefully, by the looks of the comments, we are on Facebook and we are on YouTube. So you can find us in lots of our usual places. And if you want to find where you can get your materials to make along doing exactly the same project as I'm doing here, then we are totallybeads.co.uk. And I will share the screen. So this is what the website looks like when you come on into it. So there's lots of different ways you can access our tutorials. You can scroll in learn to make jewelry. I like to just go into the video tutorial sections, which are nicely placed at the top for us. So you can find all our makes that we've been making over the last couple of weeks right at the top. And of course, there's everything else that you might want to find in terms of making by a particular technique or bead or a type of make you want to do. Today, if I scroll you right the way back up, we are here doing the Monique memory bracelets. So as you can see, I've created 6 lovely bangles for you using this lovely diamante tube. We've got the Aqua AB, the Jet AB, a Lilac AB, we've got Pink AB, we've got a Ruby AB, and we've got a Silver Aqua. AB stands for Aurora Borealis, so it gives it a lovely kind of twinkly rainbow type almost finish to it. And I've paired that with some lovely 6mm glass pearl beads and some little spacers too. They're nice and light to wear. It gives a nice cuff effect, I think, creating like this, and they are very straightforward to use and to make. All I would suggest in terms of your tools is you need some heavy duty cutters for the memory wire. Don't use your delicate jewellery flush cutters, because we are using the memory wire. It is tempered steel, so it's a lot more stronger in order for it to retain that shape. So each of your kits today are £4.24. They should have been £4.99, so I think that's a 15% off reduction for you. If we have a little look, I'll show you exactly how they look and what materials are in each of the colorways, and then I'll show you exactly how to make them. So this is the aqua. It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful colored tube. For me, it's kind of like a soft peppermint, I suppose. That's the way I'm describing it anyway. We've got these lovely, lovely beads with them. All I'm doing is creating 3 rows of that. So it's not one continuous coil. You can take that off and on using the little magnetic clasp, which has got 3 little holes, like 3 loop connectors on there to attach to each one of your lovely kind of circular forms, and then you'd be able to stretch that out a little bit as well. So if you wanted to open it up and fit it over a larger size wrist, then you can do that. It just depends on how much of that coil of the memory wire you choose to cut, but I will talk you through that in a second. So we've got the lovely diamond tubing. Now the diamond tubing, if I scroll down here, you can have a little look exactly what it's like. So it is a resin tubing. It's hollow in the middle of it, and then it's like it's dipped in these beautiful very much like 3D little diamond pieces to make it extremely glittery and lovely to use. I really like cutting this. There's just something very satisfying about it, but it's really forgiving and really nice to use, and it creates a very full effect. I'm using the sea glass with these, which are a very lovely light coloured bead, hint of blue to them. I'm using the silver plated 3 strand magnetic sliding clasp, and I'll show you how they open and close. They're really easy to use. We're using the memory wire today, which is 0.6 millimeters. All of the memory wire will be in silver, even if you're using the gold clasp and the gold spacers. You only see a tiny bit of it for the loops to attach at the end, so I think it still works really well together. And we've got the acrylic silver round beads, which are 4 millimeters in size. So this is your gorgeous aqua. That's all you need in your kit: your diamond tubing, your memory wire, the glass pearl rounds, your acrylic spacer beads, and the sliding clasp. We've also got the Jet AB. So if you're somebody who likes a monochrome look, then this is the black diamante tubing, but because it's AB, you can see there what I mean by that AB finish. It's predominantly black, but because of that coating, it's got lovely kind of blues and greens twinkling around there too. And I'm just creating that layered effect using the beads in the center as a focal. The beads that we're using here are space gray. You've got your silver acrylic spacers and your silver sliding magnetic clasp as well. We have the lilac for you, which is the first one I'm going to show you on the gold. When I mean gold, I mean in those acrylic spacers are gold, and the little sliding clasp will also be gold. We've got these lovely, lovely light purple 6 millimeter, glass rounds. Your acrylics are 4 millimeter, and we've got that diamond tubing in lilac. So you can have a little look at the colours on there if you want to have a closer inspection. This is how it looks when it's put together. They just stack on top of each other, and it's all held in place with that lovely clasp. This is the pink colourway. It's a very lovely pink. It's kind of like a baby pink, but then you've got these lovely, lovely glass. Okay, so the description here is in the wrong one. So this is showing you the ruby with the mulberry. That is not the case. This is your pink colourway. So if I go into the other one, you might be able to see what colours we are in the description on that one. Let me have a little look if that is in the other way round. No, okay. I will check on the exact colour of those pink for you. I can't remember off the top of my head because they all have different colours, but you can see different names, sorry, but you can see this is the ruby colourway. So you've got this lovely ruby red. I will show you them down on the mat as well, and I'm using the mulberry with that, and that's on the gold. And we also have this lovely silver aqua. So I really love the colour of this diamond tubing. It's kind of got, I would say it's kind of like it's not quite teal. but it's full of lovely silver glittery bits. So that's as okay, sapphire blue it says in this description, and I'm using the steel blue 6mm pearl rounds with that. I'll have a little look if I can find it. It will be on my notes which I sent to the warehouse in regards to what the precise colour of that pink is. I did have a quick scan over it this morning and everything looked right, but I obviously didn't scroll down in the description section on the pink. So I will try and get that amended for you later. So each of your kits today are £4.24, and it's going to make up one bracelet in this design. Of course, if you want to change up the design, you can do. You could use more of your diamond tubing, and you could use less of your beads. You could make 3 separate bracelets. You won't have a clasp for each of them, but you could just do the kind of one rotation if you preferred, rather than this kind of stacking design. So I'll leave them up there for you. I'll head back into the comments to see if I've missed anything. If you've got any questions, please drop me a comment. If you watch on Natalie Pattern Jewellery, where all my tutorials are shared, then I'll be able to comment straight away back to you if you've got any questions, if you're watching at a later date, because I'll get notified of that. If you're watching via the Totally Beads YouTube, then I will have to go back and keep checking for comments, but we'll try and respond to you as soon as possible. Good morning to Sharon, good morning to Tracy, hello to Trish, hello to Sally. She says good morning Natalie, I hope everyone's well. It's cold, windy and a bit of rain in Torbay today. Good morning to Hannah. It's raining where Trish is. Carol says she still can't comment on Facebook. We have got some comments this morning on Facebook, so I'm not too sure what's happening there for you, Carol, but I can see you here on YouTube, so thank you for joining me. Good morning from Israel. How lovely. It's lovely that I've got people watching from all over the place. Good morning to Teresa. Hello to Anastasia. I've got MZTR, which is saying grand rising everybody from Northeast New Jersey, USA. Hello to you, my lovely. Good morning to Esther. She's saying she's made it. She's often saying I'm a bit late because she's a busy lady. Good morning to you, my love. Shirley is in. She says good morning. It's 5 a.m. in Florida, but she's still up beading a bracelet. These won't take you long to make, Shirley, if you want to make along with me. I've been working on something at the moment which I can't share here because it's for somebody and I know they're watching. And it's taken me ages to get it right. And I'm just looking at it thinking I'm not happy with it. So I had a bit of a late one last night looking at that. I've still got to finish it off today. Good morning to Lorena. She says, sweet Natalie, hello. It's Lorena from California. I haven't been on a live in 6 months. Nice to be here. I was working on a project all day. You've all been busy bees, haven't you, Lorena? It's so lovely to see you here again. I hope you are well. Anastasia is in Atlanta, Georgia, in the USA, and it's very early. It's 5:10 in the morning. Hello to Marivia. Sorry, let me pronounce that again. Marivi from Spain. Hello to you. Good morning to Shelley. And Camille is saying, if you try turning your Facebook to portrait and then you can comment like using your phone. So hopefully that will help. And good morning to Lisa as well. So it's lovely to have so many of you in with me this morning, and so many people from all over the place. I am Natalie Patton. There's my name in the corner, and we are Totally Beads. So we do a lovely live for you 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. I do the Mondays and the Fridays usually, and we create all sorts of lovely beaded goodies. And good morning to Stacey, who's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay, I'm going to take you down on the mat and I'm going to show you the colours, so you can see exactly which ones you can choose today and how they look. So this is the pink one, which was accidentally with the wrong description. So you can see these are very lovely pink colour, whereas if I'm picking up the kind of mulberry coloured one on the ruby, you can see there's a real difference in there. So we've got these kind of lovely mulberry coloured beads, we've got these lovely pink beads, and we've got different coloured diamond tubes, and they're both on the gold for you. This is your black AB with your space black beads. So again, if you're somebody who likes a monochrome look, then I've gone for the silver and the black with this. But if I can hold up that tubing, you can see just the colours that run through this. It's a really nice thing to use. You know, if you were to be stitch beading all these together, they would take forever. It's a tube that's done for you, and it just slides on really easily. You can, of course, multi-buy if you wanted to mix the colours. I think the lilac and this one, the aqua, would look particularly lovely together. If you wanted to maybe pop one inside the other, you can do. You're going to get your silver spacers and clasp on here, and you're going to get the gold on this one. I'll show you how the clasps slide open as well. And then we've got this gorgeous one, which is particularly lovely. This colourway is the silver aqua. Again, so you've got this lovely colour on the base. I mean, my camera's struggling to focus because it is so shimmery. Camille says she thinks the aqua's her favourite today. So in terms of your components, if I just place them there for you, your sliding clasp has got 3 loops on each side, and it just slides open, but it is magnetic, so it holds together as well as sliding in and out. That's going to allow me to create 3 loops on, or a loop on each side of each rotation of my memory wire, and I can just attach that on. So I'll be able to open and close my bracelet with ease. So you just find which way it opens up, and you can open it up, slide it on your wrist, and then slide it back down closed. This is the tubing that we have. So there's a tiny little hole. Well, it's not really a tiny hole. It's quite a substantial sized hole. It's really easy to get onto the memory wire. And you'll see it kind of has a little bit of a coil and a curve in it. It's really good to keep it with this curve. It'll come in a little coil like that, and that circular shaping is going to help us when we're just feeding that onto the memory wire. Your memory wire is, as I say, a tapered steel, so it holds that shape. It looks like a slinky. You've got a coil, and we're just going to use 3 coils of that, or just over 3 coils, to create the size that we want. Now, if you want a larger bracelet, rather than just cutting here, you're just going to cut further along, and then that will kind of open up, and of course you've still got that circular shape, but we're going to be working with the shape of that wire, and therefore you're going to need to have some stronger cutters. Now, I've got some beadsmith ones here, and before I got these I was just using some that were in my toolbox. They have to be much sturdier because this is much stronger to cut. So if I was using some delicate jewellery pliers like these little flush cutters here, what you'll see, and you can see I have got little kinks and nicks in these, that's going to damage my pliers. Whereas if I'm using something like this, nice and strong, it's going to cut through it really easy. And you can cut through this with scissors, but I always cut with these as well. Really easy to cut it. So they're your components that we're going to be using today, and we're going to get making. You're also going to need some of your lovely little acrylic spacers. In terms of numbers of things, so I'm using 6mm glass pearl rounds, and I'm going to use 15 of those in total for this design. So I'm going to put 5 of those beads on each of those. I'm using 6 on each of the acrylic 4mm spacers. So you're going to need, is that 18? Yeah, sorry, my maths isn't great. It's still early in the morning. You only need 1 of your magnetic clasps. In terms of how much diamond tubing you're going to use, I've made sure you've got plenty in your kit. So I always add a little bit extra in, or tell the warehouse to add that little bit extra in than I think you're going to need, just in case you get into any difficulties with that. But I'm going to use about 6.5, 7 centimeters for each of these sections, and of course you're going to need 6 for those. So anything from 39 centimeters to 42 centimeters in total. They are really straightforward to make, and quite a lot of fun, and I think they look very pretty as well. They're very popular, I think, with young people because of that lovely shimmery look, but they are suitable for all ages. I think they're very summery. You could wear them Little party bracelets, you could wear them on the beach, you could stack them up. So if you did want to multi-buy, you could add different colours into the middle section, and you could layer them up and get a really large looking effect with that. You could do whatever you want. I also think they'd be lovely to wear like in the winter around like, Christmas or holiday party season. They'd look gorgeous together as well. Good morning to Carol. She said, someone said it might be because I'm on an iPad why I can't comment. I can see you on YouTube, so you can still comment here, Carol, and I'll still see any questions you might have. Jan says she's got Beadle-on memory wire cutters. They're really, really good heavy-duty cutters, but any heavy-duty cutter will work for you. Good morning to Angela, and good morning to Yolanda. She says, happy Monday, everyone. Okay, let's get making. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my memory wire, and I'm just going to make sure that it's not crossed over and that I've got that lovely slinky shape. I just move these out to the side so we can get a little bit of focus on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find a full rotation. So you can see where it starts off here. When it meets this point here, that's one full rotation. I don't want to cut it right on one. I want to add a little extra. So I might add about 2 or 3 centimeters over. So I'm going to take it past the point where it first finishes and add in a couple of centimeters. And that is where I'm going to cut. So I'm just going to take my cutters and I'm just going to give it a little snip. So open it out. You can see really easily just cuts like butter. So you can see there I've got that little extra, and that's going to give me enough to turn my loops. I find this is the right size for then cutting about 6.5, 7 centimeters of my diamond tubing and adding on all those beads, but you might want to add less beads into the middle. Do whatever you feel is suitable for you and what you like the look of. I'm then going to take my next part of the coil, and I want to cut 3 of these. So I'm going to again cut about in around the same place. You can always trim this if need be and cut it shorter afterwards, but of course once you've cut it you can't add more onto it. So I'd say they're roughly about the same position. And then my last one, because as I say I need 3 of these, I'm gonna open up my links or my loops and give it a little cut. So they don't have to be exactly the same, there or thereabouts. As I say, you can trim them again later, but if I line them up with each other, they look fairly similar. So I'm going about 2, maybe 3 centimeters just past the point where it meets. Obviously, it's a bit difficult to kind of measure that out because of that curve in it. I want to keep the curve in this. I don't want to be pulling it out too much. I want to keep the curve there. So I'm going to leave them as they are on my desk, and I'm going to take my round nose pliers. Now you can use your bail step pliers with this if you want, but I find my round nose do the job perfectly. Let me just move those out of the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find one end of it and I'm going to turn a little loop. Now I am going in the direction of the curve. I'm not curling outwards, I'm curving with it. So I'm not fighting against it. So I'm going to mark where about I want my loop in my round nose, and I'm just going to do it like I would turn a loop as usual. So I'm going to hold it between my finger and my thumb, and I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure against it with my thumb. And the 0.6 I find is quite easy to turn. If you've got maybe a 0.8 memory wire or anything thicker, then it can be quite difficult to turn. But you can see there I've created that little loop and it's sitting inwards like a little pea shape. All I'm going to do is pop my pliers back in and give it a little tilt to straighten it up, and then close it over again. So I've got that little loop just sitting at the end. Lorena's saying she can't find it. Natalie, did something change on the website? We are on the Totally Beads website. We'll have it this morning. It's in the Monique Sparkle bracelets. I'll show you where to find that again at the end if you need to find it, Lorena. So I'm going to do that. You can do it on all of them at the same time if you want. So just one loop on the end. So I want them to be roughly the same size. So I'm going to curve it in, a little bit of pressure, get that loop to touch, knock it back up to straighten up, and then back in again just to close the loop. And on the other one, so I'm just separating it out between my fingers. I'm not straightening it out, I'm just still keeping that natural curve. I'm going inwards, so it's going with the curve of that wire. Straighten it up, and I've got that little loop at the end which is closed. You can pop your pliers back in if you find it's not fully closed up, so this one needs a little bit more of a straighten. Sometimes when you straighten it up, it opens up that loop a little bit. So I'm just going to check I'm happy with those, and then I can start adding on my sparkly tube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it against my ruler. I want about 6.5 centimeters, 7 centimeters maybe. So I'm going to measure that against my ruler. And then with my cutters, again, I'm still using the heavy duty cutters. I'm just trimming it. And I just want to make sure that end is fairly kind of straight. Can cut it slightly at an angle, and then it's not going to butt up properly against your beads. Then as I want 6 of these, I'm just going to lay it against the next part of my tube rather than measuring it out against my ruler, and then I'm going to give it a little trim. This is going to make sure that they're all roughly the same size. It's really, really fun to cut and really easy to cut as well. So scissors will do. As I've got my cutters to hand, I'm just holding my cutter straight. So as I trim, it's got that nice flush end. So I've got 4 pieces now. Five. My last one. 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up one of my coils, and on the end where I haven't added the loop, I'm just going to slide on my first piece of tubing. So the hole runs through the middle of it, and all I'm going to do is just slide it, so rotating it round until it reaches that loop at the end. And then I'm going to hold it in this direction. Again, I want to keep that natural curve that it's got. It will hold its shape with it being memory wire, but I can pull it out and I can distort it because we are only using the 0.6 here. So I just want to keep it in this direction. And then I'm going to add on my first spacer bead. So I'm going to add on one of the 4mm acrylic spacers. And then I'm going to add on 5 of my pearls and just alternate that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll get them out ready to go. And then I'm just sliding on my pearl. Spacer. Another pearl. So I'm just alternating between the two. And as I started with the spacer, I'm going to end with the spacer as well. So just find the hole in the bead, thread it on through. So I'm going to add 5 pearls on and 6 of my spacer beads, starting and ending. And you'll see this moves around, that's okay, I can keep sliding it. So I've almost got the full form of my bracelet at the moment. Now, as I say, you can cut this memory wire if needed afterwards, but when I add on my next piece of memory wire, you'll see I've got do have quite a large bit there, and that I'm not going to need all of that to turn my loop, but I would like them to be roughly the same size. So I probably only needed to keep 2 extra centimeters on that. But if I wanted to be wider, then obviously I would just be cutting slightly longer pieces of the memory wire, and you can see how that opens up. Because I only need maybe a centimetre or so there to make that loop, I am going to cut it a little bit more here. So I'm going to just hold on to the end so it doesn't fire away, and then I'm going to push everything up. Still going to be quite a little bit, I think, there. Let's just trim a little extra off. Okay. And all I'm going to do is just curl my loop again. So I'm going to position it where I want it, keeping it nice and flush. Rotate the loop all the way around till it touches itself. Straighten it back up. And I have the first part of my little bangle. Apologise if I wasn't in shot then. I'm going to be repeating this so you'll get to see. So again, picking up my next one, sliding on my first part of my Diamante sparkly tube all the way around. And then I'm going to add on my spacer beads and my pearls. It doesn't matter if they are not fully up to the end of that loop, because when I add on the last bit of tubing just before I turn that loop, I'll make sure it's all neat and close together. So I'm just holding it with my less dominant hand, just sticking it up a little bit or moving it away from the other part of the coil. And that will help me keep the shape of it. Wanting to retain that nice circular shape. Sliding on my beads all the way around, and my other section of the tubing. Again, I think I'm going to give that a little trim. Before I trim it, just making sure it's all pushed up nice and close together here and there's no gaps. I'm then going to take my round nose pliers, turn in that loop, creating that loop so it's facing inside, in the inside of the circle, and closing that loop up. These bits will cross a little bit, and that's okay. When I put my clasp on, it's going to open up. And then repeating that for the last time. First part of the Diamante tubing. As long as your Diamante tubes are the same length, you're going to get that symmetry. If I was to cut one slightly smaller than the other, it's not going to make the bead sit in the middle. It's going to look a little bit disjointed. So adding on my spacer bead. Then my pearl. Angela says she's made similar bracelets in the past. I have done ones like these before. I used, I think they were lava beads, like the plated lava beads, which were lovely. And they were quite similar in terms of design. But it's been a long time since I've made them, and it's nice to use different components with things. So just alternating between the two, making sure I've got the same amount of my pearls on each one and spacers, so when they are placed together with the clasp that they'll all line up and kind of sit on top of each other, so they'll give that nice stacked look. Started with a spacer, ending with a spacer, and my last piece of the tubing. So again, I'm just curving it round, following that curve all the way around. I'm going to trim a tiny bit off, so making sure this is pushed up to the loop. So just give it a little slide up. Cover it with my hands just to make sure nothing fires away. I'm going to make sure it's flush. I'm going to push the tubing down, turning all the way round, knocking it back upwards and checking that loop is nice and closed. So now I've got 3, and you could wear them separately if you wanted to, and you could just place them onto your wrist. As long as you've turned that loop in, then you can do it like that. Again, if you wanted to make a different coloured piece in the centre, you could do that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure my clasp is together. I'm not attaching one onto one and one on the other, because that's just going to get us confused. So I'm going to keep my clasp closed, and I'm going to take one of my first pieces, and I'm just going to open up that loop ever so slightly, just like I would do with a jump ring. See there, I've just given it a little knock towards me, and I'm going to slide it on to the top loop of the clasp, and then press it down and make sure it's closed over. And then going to open up the other side, so giving it a little twist, and I'm going to slide it through, again making sure it's on the same row. So unless you want to do like a plaited effect with it, I want each side of each of my kind of memory wire rotations to be attached to the same part of the clasp. So I want this on the top one. What I can do is I can push that diamond tubing down slightly just to hook it on. My memory wire is making me slide open my clasp. It does have a little magnet in, so it will stay closed. It should do. So just going to push it down to get it in place. Just going to open that loop up a little bit more. Because it's got the magnet in, it does like to turn a little bit. But just hook it on, and then make sure you close down that loop. So your loop should kind of be touching itself. So it's looking like this at the moment, and then just continuing to do that with each section. So I'm going to put this one onto the middle. So opening up my little loop. Just going to hold it to give myself something to grip onto. Sliding it onto the second loop on the clasp, and closing that loop down, making sure that this is going to go onto that next loop there, so the one in the middle. Flip it open a little bit. I have the light in my face today again, so I'm trying to keep under the camera. I'm making it look a little bit more tricky than it actually is. Once I've slid that one on, I'm going to make sure I close that loop. It's because my pliers are sticking to the magnetic clasp. Doesn't help. So I've now got those 2 rows on. Is the diamond tube resin pack the same tubing, says Anna, says Lorena? Yeah, it should be. We did do some little bundles a while ago where you could choose different colours of it. This has been put with the beads, so I'll go on and I'll show you it in a moment. Sliding on that last one, closing it over, and on the other side, lifting it up, attach the loop, and again close it over. So it is now attached onto the back, so I can open it and close it by just sliding it on and off, and then it will stack up against each other here and give that full look. I'm gonna add on my wrist so you can see. Anastasia says, where can we purchase the tool that you are using to cut the memory wire? These ones are Beadsmith cutting pliers. I'll see if we've got some on the website for you as well. Lorena says she's found an 8-pack of tubing available. That will be, it'll be the same stuff, it'll just be different colours. So I'm going to open it up over my wrist and just slide that clasp into each other. Really easy to put on yourself as well. And then I've got my bracelet ready to wear, and it's very comfortable to wear as well. So it gives that nice kind of layered effect. If I've cut my tubing equally, then they will stack together nicely. Rachel says, lovely and sparkly. Yolanda says, love that purple and gold. Right, I'm going to take you back over to the website quickly, and I will show you what bits and bobs that we're using today. So let me just close this screen off for a second. Let me show you where to find them. So if you head over to the Totally Beads website and you head into the section which says learn to make jewelry, or if you come onto the first page, you'll see there's a video tutorial section here. There's one which has got our faces on and one which hasn't, but they're both accessing the video tutorials. If you click in here, today is the Monique memory bracelets. Now each of your kits is going to make one bracelet. You've got 6 colourways to choose from. They're £4.24 in British pounds, but you can, or pounds sterling, but you can change your currency if you need to. Excuse me, as we ship worldwide. So you've got the Aqua AB, the Jet AB, the Lilac AB, the Pink AB, the Ruby AB, and the Silver Aqua. Each thing in your kit, everything you need to make this project is in this kit. So for one bracelet, you're going to get enough of the diamond tubing, you're going to get that slide magnetic clasp at the back, you're going to get your memory wire, the glass pearls, and the acrylic spacers. If you want to buy separately, you can click in the components at the bottom and it'll show you all about a little bit more of information about this particular colour, but also what you can use it for and the dimensions of it. And you can also see we're out of stock at the moment, but we did have little end cord caps because I've used it with that as well before. If I type in diamond tube, it will bring up all the different colours that we've got available. So if you think, actually, I'd rather have a silver pink, or I'd rather have a light green colourway or a sapphire, then you can buy all the extra things there. There is an 8-colour pack, which has been reduced for you as well. So if you want to get multiple ones, you can do. We have used a lot of these colours in the past for different projects. We've also got this lovely candy coloured one as well. I say I'm afraid our end caps are out at the moment. You can also download a little tutorial to show you how you could use it with the end caps. The earring hoops are showing on there because I've made earrings with them as well, but you can scroll down, you can see there's lots of little bits that you can get. There's the offcuts here, which when we made the necklace using the connectors, you might find that that will be enough. But you can see here that there's just so many different colours for you to choose from. There is a 0.8 memory wire as well if you prefer, but I do find the 0.6 is easier for this project when turning your loops. Some of them are out of stock, but if you have a little look, you can see, go back a page. Okay, if you have a little look, sometimes it will show you other projects that we've done with it as well. So Let's see if I used the white for anything before. It'll show you what other customers have bought. Let me see if I can find wire cutters for you. We might have them on the website if you have a little look in the tools section. My ones that I'm using here are bead smith ones, but you can buy or use rather, you can use any type of cutter that you want to, as long as they're kind of heavy duty. So you might find you've got some in your toolbox already. Hopefully I've answered all your questions there. I hope so anyway. Yolanda says she loves the purple and the gold. Rachel says they're lovely and sparkly. Edward says good morning to everybody. Anastasia says it's very pretty. Thank you very much. Good morning to Mina. I hope your meeting went well. You're having a little chat. I don't know if I've missed any questions. Camille says the yellow was nice. I don't know if I've used the yellow one before. What I will do very, very, very quickly, because we've got a little bit of time, is I'll see if I can find for you some of our past makes. So if we go into our video categories, and what I'm saying, I'm going to look for past makes that I've used with the diamond tube. So if we go into the video category section, if I scroll down and have a little look by technique by bead, would it be in there maybe? It's not really a bead, is it? Just wondered if it'd show us diamond tube makes, because I have done quite a few different things, so it is possible that you could make all sorts of different things with it. I think I'd have to search by technique, so I'd have to say I'm looking for a bracelet, or I'm looking for a necklace. Okay. I mean, what's lovely about the website is you can just have a little meander and there's all sorts of things that you can find. I really wanted to see if they had the diamond tube section, but we've got that many categories. I don't think I can find it. If we have a little look by technique, would it be in that way? So many things that you can search for here. No, not in that one. It could be memory wire, I suppose. Let's have a little look by kind. So in terms of necklaces, I have used, will I find it? We did it not that long ago. I was just using the pins and using little connectors with it. You know, scroll through these and like, oh, I remember doing this. Oh, I remember doing this. I mean, if you have a little look there, that bead weaving gives a very similar effect to the diamond tube. Typical, isn't it? If I was looking for it when I wasn't on a live, I'd probably find it within seconds. But now I'm here, I'm like, where is it? Where is it? So you can see we've got some diamond tube connectors there. Sometimes if you look at the actual product, there it is, the Gloria one. So this was a tutorial I did a little while ago, and we were making necklaces just on the pins with it. There may be, if I scroll down, other projects we used it in. No. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I've made hoop earrings with it, I've made necklaces with it, I've made a variety of bracelets, I've used the lava stone with it, lots of different things, lots of different techniques. Today we've been doing the Monique bracelets, and there's 6 lovely colours to choose from. I'll give you a quick flash of them here. So we've got 3 on a silver colourway with the clasps and the spacers, and 3 on the gold. They're very comfortable to wear. They're very pretty. They're very glittery, and you can mix those colours up as well. But if you want to have a little look and find a few different colours of the tubing, you want to put your own pearls with it, then you can definitely check out the website. We've still got lots to available, and to be honest, I've not got another make planned with them for a little while, so we should have plenty of stock still in. Linda's saying she's loving the pink. Esther says, fantastic tutorial as always. You're very welcome. Thank you very much. Mina says she searched by kind and she found the necklace. Linda says, thank you for a lovely tutorial. And Mina's saying, if you have a little look under the jewellery supplies, you can click on Diamond Tube and find it there. Joanne says, good morning, Natalie. She's been enjoying watching, so is her granddaughter. Hi. Right, okay, I'm going to love you and leave you, everybody. I will see you on Friday. I think I've got a Y Work project for you on Friday. I think I'll have to check the schedule. I hope you all have a very lovely week. Thank you for being with me today, and I will see you.